Good afternoon, everyone, especially to our course professor, Dr. May Apat. I am Lizal Arconsigna and I am from OPTEC M15. For today's video, we are going to talk about assertiveness in using the help of parents and instructional supervisors. Let's start. What is assertiveness? Assertiveness refers to the ability to use effective and appropriate communication in making requests and defending one's position. It involves a willingness to speak up for one's own beliefs without violating on the rights of others. The teacher is assertive if she acts on her own best interest, stands up for her legitimate rights, and resists coercion. It is important for teachers to be assertive, especially when eliciting the help of parents to address students' off-task behavior problems. Some teachers, burdened by the myth, approach parents so apologetically that their lack of assertiveness precludes the effective communication necessary for acquiring constructive parental help. Many teachers feel threatened and overwhelmed by parents, especially if the parents are pushy or manipulative. Thus, many teachers have difficulty in being assertive with parents. They do not clearly and firmly let the parents know what they want or need from them, nor do they stand up for the rights. As a result, all too often, we hear teachers being woefully non-assertive.
For example, when calling parents, first, they apologize for bothering parents.
I'm really sorry to bother you at home with this.
Second, they downgrade the problem.
We had a small problem with your son today. In reality, he had a violent tantrum which disrupted the interclass for 20 minutes.
Third, they belittle themselves.
I just don't know what to do with your son. Yes, you do. You need the cooperation of the parents to discipline him about his tantrums.
Fourth, they do not clearly state their needs.
I know you're busy working at all, but if you could find the time, I'd appreciate it if you could talk to your son about his tantrums. You want her to discipline her son at home, period.
Fifth, they downgrade the consequences of the child's behavior.
I don't know what will happen if he doesn't change his behavior in class. Yes, you do. He will need to be suspended, reprimanded by permission. Often, teachers are confused being assertive with being hostile. They are afraid that if they are assertive, the parent will be offended and go to the principal. However, hostility means that you express wants and needs in a manner that offends others or violates their self-dignity, while being assertive means you send exactly the message that you want to send, neither passive nor hostile.
Let's consider case 8.17. Miss Gray is meeting with Hunter Hansen, one of her pre-calculus students, and his mother. Miss Gray scheduled the conference to elicit Miss Hansen's cooperation in teaching Hunter to discontinue habitual disruptive behaviors. After exchanging pleasantries, the conversation continues. Miss Gray: As I mentioned in my email, the primary purpose of the conference is for us to formulate some strategies to put an end to Hunter's habit of interrupting other students as well as me with wisecracks and insults. Today, for example, as soon as I displayed the graph of y equals negative 0.5x to the power 4 plus 3 on the smartboard, Hunter shouted out, "Look, Mrs. Gray drew a bored finger on the board. She flipped us off." When one of the other students was explaining what x values are slopes of lines tangent to the graph decreasing, Hunter interrupted with a remark about the student's brain decreasing. Miss Hansen: "Mrs. Gray, I know you are a good teacher because Hunter tells me so, but what you said about Hunter can't be true. He is a good boy who never misses church on Sunday. He wouldn't do that. He knows better from the scriptures." Miss Gray replied, "I don't doubt that Hunter knows better, and I don't judge my students as being good or bad. I only need for the three of us to discuss plans for putting an end to these habitual disruptions in my class." Hunter says, "I'm not the only one who talks in class." Miss Gray continues, We need to develop a plan with the purpose of Hunter speaking in class that doesn't distract us from the business of learning mathematics. Hunter, that means speaking only about the mathematical topic at hand and when you have the floor. If the three of us don't come up with a plan to stop this disruption in my class, then I will work one out with Miss Washington, who is my administrative supervisor. The discussion continues for another 16 minutes when the three agree to a plan. Miss Gray captures the agreement in a document that they all sign.
Of course, eliciting the help of parents to address students' off-task behavior problems is much easier when you have already established an efficient line of communication with them before being confronted by the problems. Just like Miss Gray did, she already scheduled her conference to elicit Miss Hansen's cooperation in teaching Hunter to discontinue habitual disruptive behaviors. Miss Gray displays assertiveness when she clearly states her needs. In the end, the three of them agree to a plan, and Miss Gray captures the agreement in a document that they all sign. It means Miss Gray has used effective and appropriate communication. As a future educator, we should have the ability to use effective and appropriate communication in making requests and defending one's position, especially in eliciting the help of parents to address students' off-task behavior problems. We should clearly state our needs, and we should stand up for our rights for us to have a better communication. We should use the help of parents and instructional supervisors in approaching students' off-task behavior problems because remember, no one teacher, no matter how good she is or how much experience or training she has, is capable of working successfully with each and every child without support. That's all for today's discussion. I hope you've learned something. Thank you and goodbye.